Welcome back, dear listeners, to another inspiring episode of Unlock Your Potential. I'm thrilled to have you join us today as we embark on another episode that will transform the way you approach your studies. I'm Mariam Sharif, your host, and in this episode, we are going to discuss the art of studying smart and not hard. I want you to imagine this scenario. You're sitting at your desk or table, surrounded by mountains of textbooks, notes, assignments. Remember, the exams are just around the corner and you're determined to perform well. But here's the challenge that often occurs. Is there a way to study that ensures you're going to retain most of the information you're memorizing while still maintaining your sanity? Then the answer is yes. The answer lies in the concept of studying smart. It's not about the sheer hours you spend hunched over your books. It's about employing strategies that will optimize your learning process. Today, we are going to explore these strategies, revealing the secrets to studying smart, enhancing your understanding and overall effectiveness. So, what does it mean to study smart and not hard? This is a mantra that is based on the idea that success in academics is not only determined by the amount of time you spend buried in textbooks or the late night cram sessions. I know some of you are fond of these. Rather, it's about approaching your studies with purpose, understanding, and strategic thinking. Imagine this. You have two students preparing for the same exam. Student A spends hours upon hours memorizing every detail of the textbook. Student B, on the other hand, employs techniques that enhance comprehension, memory, and retention. The student focuses on understanding concepts, practicing critical thinking, and using techniques like active recall. As you've probably guessed by now, student A is studying hard, while student B is studying smart. They are not drowning in information, they are navigating it strategically, applying techniques that align with how our brains naturally process and retain information. They are crafting their study sessions to optimize their learning outcomes. So when you study smart, you're using your brain's incredible capacity to make connections, synthesize information, and retrieve knowledge when needed. You're not just accumulating facts, you're building a framework of understanding that will serve you well not only in exam but also in real life. So in this podcast episode, we'll discuss 3 study techniques that will guide you on your journey to study smart. From techniques like the Pomodoro Technique, mind mapping, and the last one, which happens to be my favorite. So stay tuned until the end. Now let's start with the first technique, the Pomodoro Technique. Now I know the name might sound quirky and strange, but I promise you the impact it can have on your study sessions is nothing short of remarkable. Now the Pomodoro Technique revolves around the idea of breaking your study time into focused intervals, usually around 25 minutes. These are known as Pomodoros. So during these Pomodoros, your mission is clear. You're going to immerse yourself in your studies, dedicating your full attention to the task at hand. No distractions, no multitasking, just you and the subject matter. And here's the genius part. After each Pomodoro, you're going to reward yourself with a short break, around 5 minutes or so as to recharge and refocus. This technique is based on the understanding of how our brain's attention span works. Our ability to maintain high levels of focus usually peak at around 20 to 30 minutes. So this makes the 25-minute Pomodoro an ideal interval. By the way, if you think about it, this is also the reason why our school lessons tend to range within an interval of 35 to 40 minutes. So by giving yourself regular breaks, you're going to prevent mental fatigue, maintain consistent productivity, and even increase your overall retention of your studies. Now let's imagine you're tackling a complex chapter in, let's say, chemistry. And you're probably thinking, she's back to chemistry again. And yes, I am. The reason why I place such a heavy emphasis on chemistry is because we have a challenge in chemistry in terms of performance and attitude, especially in the part of the country where I am, that is coast. So bear with me as I use chemistry for our examples. with the hope that by doing so, it's going to improve your attitude and eventually your performance. Now back to the Pomodoro technique. You're studying alkenes under Organic Chem 1. So you've broken your revision into 2 Pomodoros. In the first one, you're going to discuss the nomenclature of alkenes and laboratory preparation of ethene. Now in your next Pomodoro, you're going to discuss or you're going to revise the chemical properties of alkenes. So in your first Pomodoro, you've broken it into several segments such as rules for naming alkenes, what you're going to do or how to name the first 9 alkenes, practicing their molecular formula and drawing them. Then next, of course, you're going to go through the laboratory preparation. So you've set a timer for 25 minutes. You're delving deep into the subject matter. As the timer ticks down, you're fully immersed in the material, drawing the structures, taking notes, summarizing key concepts, and connecting them. When the timer rings, you reward yourself with a 5-minute break. You're going to hydrate or simply close your eyes and just clear your mind. These breaks are not only a moment for you to recharge, but they are also a chance for your brain to process and digest the information you've just studied. So as you return to your next Pomodoro, you might find that you're more focused, alert, and ready to tackle the material with renewed energy. And as you progress through the study session, you'll be amazed at how much ground you can cover without feeling overwhelmed or mentally drained. So as you can see, the Pomodoro technique is not just about efficiency, it's about creating a healthy relationship with studying. It prevents burnout and transforms studying into something that is manageable and even enjoyable. So as you utilize the Pomodoro technique, remember that consistency is very important. Gradually adjust the duration of your Pomodoros and breaks to suit your focus levels. With time, you might find that you can even go for more than that, maybe for 35 minutes or even 40 minutes before taking a break. And if you feel like 5 minutes is too short of a break, you need more, then you do what is best for you. So with time, you're going to develop a rhythm that goes well with your natural pace of learning. On to our second technique, and that is mind mapping. So what is mind mapping? Mind mapping is a visual technique that is used to organize information, ideas, or topics. So it typically starts with a central idea or topic that is placed at the center of a page, and then related ideas branch out from it in an interconnected manner. Now this helps to capture and organize thoughts, ideas, projects, etc. Now in order to make this clear in your minds, let me give an example. Imagine a tree with branches extending in all directions, each branch representing a key idea. So mind mapping is like creating that tree on paper, using keyword, colors, images, icons to create a visual representation of interconnected ideas. But why is mind mapping such an effective learning tool? It's because it aligns with how we naturally explore, understand, and remember information. When we study linearly, like through paragraphs or texts, our brains can struggle to retain the material. And I bet this is something that has happened to you once or twice. You studied a particular topic, but when it comes to the exams, you try so hard to remember the content, but iko wapi? Hakuna kitu nakumbuka. And this is the reason why. But when we talk about mind mappings and we are using visuals, it becomes easier for our brains to remember the information. So mind mapping with its visuals and images engages our brains on multiple levels. This makes it easier to absorb and recall complex concepts. To give an example of its use, imagine a student tackling the human digestive system in biology. Now for those who do biology, you can recall there's a lot of content in this topic. Now instead of traditional note-taking, create a mind map. Start with the main topic, the digestive system, at the center of your page. Then branch out with the organs that make up the digestive system. So you're going to have the mouth, the stomach, the esophagus, the small intestine, the large intestine. These are going to be your branches. Now let's explore the magic of connections. Imagine the stomach as one of your branches. The first branch under the stomach could be secretions. under this, note down the gastric gland. This is the one that secretes gastric juice. And in the gastric juice, you're going to have hydrochloric acid, pepsin, renin, and mucus. Next, input the relevant functions of each. Lastly, remember, secretion of gastric juice is stimulated by the gastrin hormone. The second branch, still under the stomach, is muscle contractions. The stomach wall consists of circular and longitudinal muscles. These muscles contract and relax, a movement referred to as churning. So this becomes your next sub-branch. It results in the formation of a fluid called chyme, and so on. So you find that each function further branches out with related concepts, and suddenly a difficult topic becomes a visual landscape, enhancing understanding and retention. So by visually linking the ideas, you're copying the natural way your brain processes information, thus making it easier to recall it. Additionally, the beauty of mind mapping lies in its creativity. Engage your inner artist by using colors, symbols, icons, images, illustrations, even doodle if you like. In short, make your map as visually appealing and memorable as possible. Imagine drawing a playful pH scale with a smiley face at the neutral pH and frowning faces at acidic or basic pH levels. This adds a fun twist to understanding acidity and alkalinity. Doodle flames in different colors next to elements to represent the colors emitted during a flame test. This will help you associate elements with their characteristic flame colors. So by using visual elements, you're engaging different parts of your brain, enhancing your understanding and recall. Now lastly, on this technique, I would like to give an example. I had a student in Form 3 who was challenged in biology. So I had been teaching her for the past 3 years, but her performance in biology was not good. Now in Form 3 Term 2, I can clearly recall her performance suddenly changed. She moved from an A to a B, and I was so surprised at this. I remember thinking, how can this even be possible? In fact, there were some questions in the exams that none of the other students in class got right except her. So I called her later on and I was like, let's just call her Fatma. And I was like, Fatma, what happened? What changed? Tell me the magic you did. And she was like, Madam, it took me a long time, but I finally realized that the key to understanding biology is not cramming or memorizing, at least not for me. It's about making or visualizing the information that is there. So what I did was, I broke down the different components that are found in a particular topic into images, into these flow charts, similar to what you have in chemistry. So one concept connected to another and so on. And it made it easier for me to recall the information. And she was like, Madam, if only you could see my bedroom right now. The walls are covered by these flowcharts of biology. So students, the main thing, even with the use of these techniques, is knowing yourself, being aware of what works for you or not. Now, we are left with our last technique, and as I mentioned before, this is my favorite, and that is collaborative learning. So collaborative learning is a dynamic educational approach where students work together in groups to solve problems, discuss ideas, and learn from each other. It goes beyond the traditional teacher-centered model and emphasizes active participation, peer interaction, and shared responsibility for learning. Collaborative learning builds on the diverse strengths of individual students. So this creates an environment where each student's unique abilities contribute to the collective learning experience. In this approach, a student who excels in problem solving might work together with a classmate who possesses good communication skills. Similarly, a history enthusiast might team up with a classmate who's good in drama. So they take on a historical project, with one discussing the historical events and the other bringing historical figures and events to life through engaging performances. Now let's say you've just finished studying a topic in physics, Newton's law of motion. You're planning on teaching a friend who isn't familiar with the topic. So you have to explain the concepts, provide clear examples, and answer any questions they might have. So as you play the role of the teacher, you're forced to organize your thoughts and present the material clearly. Now this will not only reinforce your grasp of the topic, but also highlight any gaps in your understanding, thus motivating you to fill those gaps and become a more confident learner. Overall, collaborative learning mirrors real-world interactions and instills essential life skills. By working together to achieve common goals, you're not just mastering the subject matter, you're cultivating teamwork, communication, and problem-solving skills that will serve you well in various aspects of life. As students engage in discussion, debate, providing constructive feedback, they not only deepen their understanding of the subject matter, but also enhance their interpersonal abilities such as communication skills. You learn how to articulate your thoughts, explain complex concepts, and listen actively to others. Furthermore, this method cultivates a sense of accountability and shared responsibility. When you work as a team, each member's contribution matters. This encourages everyone to participate actively and do their part, resulting in a more thorough and well-rounded understanding of the material. So as we wrap up our episode, it's clear that the techniques we've explored today hold immense potential not only for your academic success, but also for shaping the remarkable individual you're becoming. So using these strategies will help you cultivate skills that will extend beyond textbooks and classrooms. So as we reach the end of this episode, let me leave you with an inspiring thought. Will you step into your future as someone who possesses the unwavering self-discipline to face challenges head-on, armed with strategies that will propel you forward and allow you to continuously evolve? Or will you choose a path of stumbling, opting to remain stationary in life rather than embracing the boundless opportunities that come with embracing challenges? The choice is yours, and it holds the power to shape the remarkable journey ahead. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and choose the path that leads to you becoming the best version of yourself.